Your goal is not in her.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Geek-A-Tech. Friends, today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic related to testing. We are going to talk about unit testing versus system testing. This question asked many times in in interviews, even for manual or you are an automation test engineer. There is no big difference. It's the basic concepts, and it's a very tricky kind of question also because interviewer makes you sometime confused with such kind of questions. So before we proceed, I just want to thanks to all my viewers and subscribers for their love and their support. Also, right now I'm bringing one video every month because of my certain commitments, but from next month I will try to bring at least two videos in a month with some very interesting topics. If you have any suggestions, you can mention in your comments on which we can discuss. I can create a good video on that. I try to share my knowledge on that, so just share details in the comment box. So let's start that. What is unit testing and what is system testing? So as you know that unit testing in very vague manner, if I want to say that what is unit testing, so we can say, yeah, unit testing, we know it's done by developers. We heard in our meetings, we heard this term in our stand-ups, in our scrums, in our status meetings, that okay, developer says, yeah, I am done with my code, now I am performing unit testing. Whereas we see in the same manner in our meetings and all those stuffs, what we heard is that now I am going to perform a functional testing or system testing. A tester says this stuff. So so this is the first very basic difference. But why unit testing is always done by developer, why system testing is done by an automation or a QA, manual QA or a QA, precisely. So we are going to talk about this because what happened in interview when you says that okay, the unit testing done by developer, system testing done by QA. So it's a very vague answer. It's not a very precise or crisp answer. So today we are going to talk about those various points which we should understand, that how unit testing is different from system testing. So let's start. So first thing, the unit testing is all about testing the software modules separately. As you know that, as the name suggests, unit. So whatever module we have, a developer has developed to test that module individually. This unit testing is performed. They use stubs, they provide dump values, they provide dummy values to test those stuffs. They use JUnit, Mockito, JMockito. There are several frameworks with them, and they use it. Okay, so what they do, they have for suppose they have they develop a particular module which just calculate an interest rate. Okay, it just calculate an interest rate based on your input. That particular module, it is not linked with what kind of bank account is there. It's written in such a manner that this module will only going to calculate the interest rate or whatever input you provide. Okay, so this is a very minute, very crisp example to define the unit testing. So what developer will do, developer will just only pass some dummy values and try to see, okay, 5 multiplied by 2.5, 10 multiplied by 2.5, or 5.5 multiplied by 2.5. That's it. They are not going to perform any validations. Okay, so and the second thing is, it is always performed by developers. Many companies, they have a mandate that they will start doing the testing when they got the unit test results. Basically it happens mainly when there was no agile module was there, but right now many of the companies, they are using agile models. So this requirement is not fitting in very upfront manner, but yeah, Unit testing is pretty much required, and it is done by all the developers. But what happened in case of V model and the waterfall models, that the QA teams, their entry criteria was that uh, particular feature should be unit tested. Okay, so that was a past thing. But now in in agile, when we are developing a feature on an iterative basis, then we cannot just mention it's a hard point to that. Okay, if it is not unit testing, then we are not testing it. No, you are not doing, you are parallelly testing your own features, you are performing your own system testing. But developer has to perform unit testing. They have the unit, they need to provide unit test coverage reports. Okay, they need to cover they need to provide the coverage reports. They need to perform unit testing. Okay, otherwise most of the companies, they have a certain criteria. If they are not providing if they are not doing a unit testing up to a certain percentage, like 95%, 98%, whatsoever is the company standard, the code will not be proceed for deployment. Okay, so unit testing is basically done by developers. Third, it's it's basically focuses on functional verification. Like I said, it will only verify 5.5 multiplied by 2.5. That's it. They are not going to verify any other validations, all those stuff, or how that module is going to behave in the when this module is going to interact with the another module. Okay, so this is will not be the part of unit testing. Okay, they are going to just test that piece of code which they have written on in that module. So another point is error finding is easy, because you are just checking a very small chunk of code. You are just verifying a very small chunk of code. So error finding is quite easy in comparison to system testing. Again, here developer has all the code available with him. He can visualize the code, that how his codes behave. So whenever he's going to perform the unit testing, he creates his own testing module in the project, in the same project, in the same branch. And he's able to perform his unit testing while he can see all the codes, that how in which folders code is written, how to call those methods and all those stuffs. Again, the another point is resource requirements less. As you know that whatever developer develops the code, he perform most of the time, 99% of the time he perform his own unit testing, because he know how he written the code, how he developed the modules. Okay, so based on that he write his own unit testing. So one person who's developed the code, he performed the unit testing on that. So resources is not that much required, that 3 or 4 members should do the unit testing for that particular module. Okay, and the last but not the least, to perform the unit testing, a single module testing approach is used. As we discussed that they have the main focus to test that particular module. They are not going to bother other modules. They are not going to focus at how their module is going to be behave when that module is going to interact with the another module. The thing is, I'm not saying that they are not taking care of it. They are taking care of it while developing the code, but while performing the unit testing, they don't have to worry that okay, now if I am providing some input which is getting from some other module, then how it is going to behave. No, they need to focus on that particular single module. So that's why it's easy to find the error for that particular module. Okay, as a part of unit testing, there are various frameworks used by developers, like NUnit for .NET, JUnit, Mockito for Java. For UI, I think they are using Karma or something like that. So yeah, there are various frameworks available for performing the unit testing, and unit testing will always be the part of development, the code development. Many, unlike in the in agile model, all of the companies have definition of done with them. So they are considering the unit testing also the part of it. It doesn't mean that if you just written the code, no, your job is not finished. You need to do unit testing also. Once that unit testing is also done, then you are going to check in your code, then it will be pushed for system testing or functional testing or whatever you are going to do in the next phase. So unit testing is the most important part for the development. They are performing the unit testing. It will be the part of definition of done in case of agile model, we are technically speaking. Okay, now come to system testing. As a part of system testing, as we know, it's a very broad term. It's not an easy or one liner term. System testing consider various things like functional testing. It test whole system. It will test bunch of features. It might test one feature, it might test couple of features. It will include regression, it will include integration. So there are lots of stuffs coming in system testing, and system testing is huge than unit testing. Okay, so now it, as the first point says, that system testing is done for whatever the requirement we have is working or not, how our system is behaves, whatever we have decided to build the system or the software, is it working in that manner or not. Okay, we want to calculate the interest rate for different kinds of accounts, and it is calculating them in a proper manner. Okay, it's calculating them correctly, for saving account, for current account, for overdraft, for credit cards, whatsoever. It is calculating them properly. Okay, for home loans, for vehicle loans, whatsoever we have, it's going to calculate it. So end to end stuffs. Okay, it should, whatever feature we have, if complete system along with the complete feature, also the complete feature is working, that okay, if I want to log in that in my website, okay, I'm able to log in. I'm not able to log in with invalid credentials. I'm not able to, my account get logged if I try more than 3 times, 5 times, whatever I have requirements. So those specific requirements are meeting or not is the part of system testing. The second point, it's generally done by testers, not by the developers. Sometimes a developer helps testers when they have the resource crunch, or they have some certain amount of tight deadlines. Then developers also help, but in that case also they took help from testers. Testers provide them the test case. Okay, these are my scenarios, these are my test case, please help me to execute those. Okay, system testing is again focuses on system validations, right? As the previously I gave the example, like if I try to log in with invalid credentials, I should not be able to log in. If I try to log in with invalid credentials 4 times, then my account should be logged. Okay, there should be a option to perform forget password. So these all are the system validations parts. So it focuses all those stuff, not only with the verification, but it also focuses on the validation. Also, system testing is considering it consists of integration testing also, as we say. In integration, when are all the modules got integrated, or different features are integrated, then we are performing the testing again. Like as we've discussed the previous example of calculating the interest rate. So one module or one feature was there that was calculating the interest rate on different kinds of accounts, whereas the another feature has been created where interest rate is calculating on loans. Okay, so once those both features got merged in the main branch, and we are going to deploy it. Before that, we need to perform a testing, that how these two modules, when we integrate the code, then how, or whenever it's required, to communicate between these two modules, is it working fine or not. So this integration testing is working properly or not. So the integration testing will always be the part of system testing. The Another point is code details. On it is not mandatory to you need to see the code. Okay, how the code is written, what are the validations in if and else developer has put. No, it's not required for you. You just need to test it end to end on UI or on API level. If you want to test it on API level, you can test it, but you don't need to view the code, that how it is structured, how it's written. Okay, compared to unit testing, yes, error finding is difficult because you are dealing with many of the components, many of the cogs of the system. You need to perform various kinds of validations. You need to perform corner cases, edge cases, Okay, you need to go for some negative testing, exploratory testing also, to find out the error. So it's been difficult to, getting these easiest way, or it's not the easiest way to finding the defects or bugs in the system. To perform the system testing, we need to perform bottom up approach or top down approach. For these two approaches, I have a different video for that. You can go there and you can watch it out. Okay, so we need to perform system testing with these two approaches. So this is all about the system testing. So whenever someone asks you in interview question, or even a junior fresher wants to understand that, okay, I know that unit testing done by developer, system testing is done by tester, but what else? So you can describe these all features to him or her, or your interviewer, that these are the reasons. That's why unit testing is different from system testing. System testing is whole a new world. Okay, it consists of regression. We perform automation use in system testing also. There's many companies, they are performing automation directly. They are not testing manually, they are directly writing the scripts and test it. Where unit testing is just a basic related to the codes. It always related to developers area. Okay, so these are the basic differences which we discussed today. So this is all about for the day. For more videos related to testing, more videos related to core Java, you can visit my channel. There are several playlists over there. You can watch my video, you can subscribe, you can share to your fellow colleagues, your friends. Okay, and I will try to publish at least 2 or 3 videos in a month from next time. So, thank you, thanks a lot for your time.